So I know this review is a little bit later than anticipated in terms of me recording it, but as the old saying goes, it's better late than never in terms of doing the review of the last two round of 16 first leg game in CCL and the last two game of course involving an MLS team. And also just a disclaimer, I actually did not watch both of these game when both of these game was happening. I was still at work, and by the time I got off work, this game just finished, and hence that's why I actually decided not to do the review first when I get back home, because I still had to watch the highlights of both of these games, and I actually had to only rely on the 2DN USA YouTube channel to provide the highlights for both of these games, because it seems like there's not a very good English language kind of highlights that is provided in terms of these two CONCACAF Champions League game. And even with the 2DN one, I didn't think that was a relatively good highlights too, but I got as much notes as possible. But just to let you know that it's not going to be as detailed as what I did back on Tuesday when I was actually able to watch both of those games. But in terms of these two games where these two MLSC was involved in CCL, well, it was definitely not a great night for both of these teams. I mean, on one hand, you have an MLS team suffer more CONCACAF heartbreak, though in some way kind of deserved to suffer some CONCACAF heartbreak, consider how bad they perform. And then we had what was supposed to be the team that is most likely going to go all the way out of MLS, in the Seattle Sounders put a very lackluster performance against Honduras side Montagua. But let's first talk about the CONCACAF heartbreak in the Colorado Rapids versus Communicanoes. And again, the heartbreak is because just like Montreal, Colorado gave up a late goal to lose in the first leg. But unlike where the game against Montreal versus Santos, well, actually kind of similar in terms of that, where just like the game between Santos and Montreal, where Santos was all over Montreal, and in some way it was a matter of time before Montreal would give up that goal, and that of course is the case. This was kind of similar too, but you definitely did not expect that was going to be the case. I mean, no disrespect to Communicaciones, but the Colorado Rapids, yeah, this was probably one of the worst performances I've seen them play under Robin Fraser, and certainly one of the worst performances I've seen in an MLS team playing in the CONCACAF Champions League. And again, in the end, they were kind of wildly deserved to be beaten in this one. Now, 6 minutes into the game, Yarbrough absolutely robbed Lescano on the header. I mean, if Yarbrough didn't make an incredible save there, where Lescano had a free header there in the box, and also for a team that is supposed to be one of the better set piece defending team in the league, that was kind of shocking to see how they let the Communicaciones player Lescano getting a free header there, but Yarbrough was able to deny him there. Then Lescano puts it over the bar from long range, and again, it was a very flat start to the evening for the Rapids, which would continue throughout the game, and Communicaciones were dominating early in the game when was looking for the opening goal. Lopez then puts it high from long range in the 21st minute before Abubakar had to make a crucial block on Contreras' shot that was actually going to go in if Abubakar did not make a block there. And despite the fact that the Rapids were under a lot of pressure in the first half and was not playing very well, they were very fortunate that they had to halftime scoreless in this game. And in the second half, I was thinking, well, I know the Rapids kind of got off to a slow start, and maybe a lot of that has to do with a lot of these MLS teams being in preseason form, but you would think in the second half they would turn up, right? No. It was pretty much the same as I thought. Communicaciones continued to dominate the game. Contreras then puts it into Rhodes from close range in the 68th minute before Laren tried to do a rando layout, trying to chip the goalkeeper on a 30-yard free kick, but miss high. And just a full disclosure, this is not Kyle Laren that we're talking about. This is the Laren from Communicaciones, which I actually don't know what exactly his first name there, but just to let you know that Kyle Laren didn't secretly play for Communicaciones in this game to haunt an American team once again. And as time winds down, you're just thinking that, well, the Rapids are probably hoping that they should just kind of pack it in and maybe get a 0-0 result, because there was no doubt that Communicaciones was really gunning for that opening goal. But instead, something interesting happened. The Rapids actually started to finally realize that, yeah, the season has begun, and we better bring our A game because they kind of started to gain some traction, and we're actually the one that looked like potentially can get the winner out of this game. Their new signing Max Alvarez, who I think he was subbed in this one. I didn't think he had a good game in this one, but he did had probably the best opportunity for the Rapids, as he puts it wide from close range. Then, well, the other new signing for the Rapids, Brian Acosta, who I think he also subbed into this game, he puts it into Rhodes' Edge from long range in the 87th minute, and just as the Rapids thought that they were able to escape Guatemala with an uninspiring 0-0 draw, the heartbreak happened. And in the 89th minute, it's Espinos that scored from Contreras to give Communicaciones a 1-0 lead. Now, this goal probably wouldn't happen if Espino didn't accidentally just deflect that one toward goal. I mean, I don't think he know a lot about this one when Contreras basically struck in from the free kick, but that's kind of how it is in soccer, where especially when you're the underdog, sometimes you need to just kind of strike toward goal because you never know. Maybe there's a deflection that can go the other way, and in this case, it was deflected off his own teammate, but to the fortune of the host, it actually went into the back of the net. But certainly a very unlucky goal that the Rapids conceded there. I mean, Yarbo just had no chance in terms of that, with the way that one took a wicked deflection. But like I said, overall, when you look at the way this game played, that goal was deserved from Communicaciones because they were by far the better team in this one. And in the end, they have an advantage heading into the second leg, going back to Colorado with a 1-0 win. And the shots pretty much tells the story that Communicaciones was the better team. 14 shots compared to just 9 that the Rapids had. Don't let the 9 fool you, the fact that they actually had 0 shots on goal in the entire game compared to 2 that Communicaciones has. 10 shots off target compared to 7 that the Rapids had. Both teams had 2 shots on block, and possession-wise, 51% possession compared to 49% possession that both teams had. Just ignore the fact that I wrote shots here. That's actually not supposed to be shots. In fact, let me just change it now so that that's that obviously is incorrect to say that the shots was not 49 to 51, but it's actually the possession there. So yeah, for the Rapids, they gotta figure it out heading into the second leg, because this was not a good performance whatsoever. And I know obviously whenever an MLS team loses, and in this case lose to a Central American team, that at least they're already kind of in mid-season form, they can maybe use the preseason excuse. But the way that the Rapids played tonight, it was, even for a team that isn't in preseason form, it is kind of beyond poor than what I've seen for this team. And I know I've also said before that this was probably the weakest team and the most, or the least likely team to win the CONCACAF Champions League, but I did not expect that they were going to have to fight to get into the next round against Communicaciones, and they're going to have to do that in the next round, because for Robin Fraser, his group need to regroup after just a really bad performance that they had in this game against Communicaciones. Now, moving on into the last game of the first leg of the round of 16 of the CONCACAF Champions League this season is Montagua versus the Seattle Sounders, which ended in an uninspiring 0-0 draw. And in some way, I think the Sounders, they'll be happy the fact that they got a 0-0 draw out of this game, because there were a couple of times that Montagua almost got the opening goal in this game. And I will say that at least in this one, the Sounders definitely played a little bit better compared to what the Rapids did against a Central American team. Even though, ironically, when you look at the shots, Seattle actually has less shot than what Colorado generate throughout this game. Now, it's also so good to mention the fact that this is also the same stadium where the Timbers played against Marathon last season away for their first leg of the round of 16 the CONCACAF Champions League, as this one was played at St. Pedro Sula at the Estadio Olímpico Metropolitano, which is also the same stadium that Honduras played their game in the CONCACAF World Cup qualifier. But obviously, I kind of just want to mention the fact that this is the same stadium that the Timbers play against Marathon, because it's the same competition. And in that game, it was a 2-2 draw that the Timbers had against Marathon, in a game that I thought that one kind of got away from them, considering the fact that I think they had the lead in that one, and they weren't able to hold on. And in this case for the Sounders, they never even had a lead because they weren't even able to score a goal in this one. Though they had a chance to do so in the 9th minute when Ruidíaz hits one straight to Lecona, and that actually turns out to be the only shot on goal that the Seattle Sounders would get throughout the entire game. But at that point, you didn't think that that was going to be the case, because I thought that was maybe like a warning shot that, this is when the Sounders are going to be showing their might. But instead, just 3 minutes later, they almost concede the opening goal. And if it wasn't for the post saving them, Nunez would have basically put this one in. And in some way, Nunez clearly should have put this one into the back net. Like, that was literally right there from about 4 yards out. And, that's kind of also a situation where it's actually harder to hit the post or miss than actually scoring there. But yeah, the Sounders very lucky the fact that they were not 1-0 down in the 12th minute. Then Orlego blazed it high from long range in the 18th minute before Rusnak puts it wide from close range. It is still so strange seeing Albert Rusnak in a Seattle Sounders jersey. I mean, I'm so used to him wearing an RSL jersey that, yeah, I mean, it still kind of feels surreal, the fact that Rusnak joined the Sounders. And I'm pretty sure RSL fans are probably feeling the same way, because it just doesn't feel right seeing Rusnak in a different uniform besides an RSL jersey. But I thought both teams was getting good chances early in the game. Lego did hit a volley from 6 yards out that goes straight to Stefan Fried. I thought that was actually a good save from Stefan Fried, because, the way that Olega hits that one from such a close range, and, when you hit a volley, you definitely generate a lot of power, and, to do that from about 6 yards out, Fried had to react to it, and he did a good job in terms of reacting to it and able to not only save it but also keep it from going out of play. And Ladero puts it high from close range in the 42nd minute. I didn't think Ladero had a good game in this one. I mean, to be fair, none of the Sounders attacker had a good game in this one. But we do head to halftime scoreless between Montagua and Seattle heading into halftime. Now, in the second half, Montagua, I thought they started out the stronger side, but it was actually the Sounders had the best opportunity to start the second half, as Rowe just missed one from long range in the 56th minute. Then the game kind of started to become a little bit lackluster, where neither team really kind of create much chances, and this is where it's become kind of a bit of a snooze fest kind of game, and a game where I'm pretty sure if you're a Sounders fan watching this one, you're just hoping you can get out of that game with a 0-0 draw. And again, they almost didn't get a 0-0 draw in the 87th minute, as Alvier tried to do a little cross shot, tried to do a little rando layout there, but he missed that one wide. But unlike where the Rapids gave up a late goal to suffer classic CONCACAF heartbreak that an MLS team does, at least the Sounders weren't able. At least the Sounders did not do the same, as they were able to escape Honduras with a 0-0 draw in this one. And the shots in this one, 11 shots compared to 6 that the Sounders had, 4 shots on goal compared to just 1 that the Sounders had. So both MLS teams combined only 1 shot on goal in the entire game for both of these CCL round of 16 first leg. 3 shots off target for both of these teams. 4 shots that was blocked for the 2 that the Sounders had. And possession-wise, the Sounders actually had the better possession, 55% possession compared to 45% possession that Montagua has. And I have no doubt that the Sounders will figure it out in the second leg, and that, I just feel like, I know in the past the Sounders have put up lackluster performance against a Central American team, and then eventually in the second leg they suffer more heartbreaks there, either losing in a penalty kick shootout or giving up a late goal. But there's just something tells me that this is too good of a Sounders team to get eliminated in the first round. I mean, if this does happen, then we might as well just give up our hope in terms of an MLS team winning a CCL, because, like I said, the Sounders were supposed to be the most equipped in terms of this competition. And I will say that I'll give them the excuse, the fact that, again, they are still in preseason form, and this is the first time we've seen this lethal attack kind of play together. And even though, we know that they definitely have a lethal attack that can score goals at will, it's going to take time for them to get some chemistry and get things going. And, they're hoping that that's going to be the case heading into the second leg. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys like, smash the subscribe button. I mean, going back to these two games, you know, I still think that, you know, the Sounders does have most likely have the chance to move on. Though I will say that the Rapids, you know, as bad as this performance is, I still think they have a shot, especially with the way that they were very good last season at home. But it's not going to be easy because they need to, of course, score a goal against Communicanoes, and also make sure do not concede a goal. And that also goes the same for the Seattle Sounders too, because as much as I know sometimes it's good to grind out a resort in Central America and basically get like a 0-0 draw, one disadvantage in terms of that is that you didn't get an away goal, and that could come back to haunt the Sounders if they do drew Montagua in the second leg, because, you know, if Montagua can score in the second leg and get a 1-1 draw, they're moving on into the next round. So that's going to be something the Sounders will have to be worried about, and that is especially something that Colorado will have to be worried about too, because they also did not get an away goal in their first leg away from home in the CONCACAF Champions League. But like I said, let me know in the comments below what do you think of both of these games. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.